She used to wake up with her phone in her hand. Before her eyes fully opened, she checked messages, likes, comments as if her life depended on them. Her name was Elena. To millions online, she looked happy. Perfect photos, perfect captions, perfect life. But every night, when the screen went dark, silence filled her small apartment. No notifications, no voices, just her thoughts, and they were getting louder. One evening, she stared at her reflection in the black screen of her phone and whispered, "I don't even know who I am anymore." That was the night she made a decision. That would change everything. Elena remembered how it all started. At first, social media was fun. A place to share moments, smiles, small victories. But slowly, without her noticing, it became something else. Every post needed approval. Every silence felt like rejection. She deleted photos that didn't get enough likes. She rewrote captions again and again, searching for the perfect words. And every night, she fell asleep feeling strangely empty, as if pieces of herself were disappearing, one post at a time. Friends stopped calling. Real conversations became rare. Even laughter felt staged, like it was meant for an audience that wasn't really there. She told herself it was normal. Everyone lived like this now. But deep inside, something felt wrong. Like she was living someone else's life, not her own. That feeling followed her everywhere. One evening, Elena opened her phone and froze. A photo of her, smiling, perfect, stared back at her from the screen. But she didn't remember smiling like that. She remembered feeling tired. The comments were full of praise. "You look so happy. Your life is perfect." Her chest tightened. That wasn't the truth. She scrolled and scrolled, trapped in an endless loop. Other lives looked brighter. Other people looked more successful, more loved, more real. Suddenly, her phone slipped from her hands and hit the floor. The screen went dark. In that silence, Elena felt something unfamiliar: relief. For the first time in months, there was no noise, no expectations, no eyes watching her. And in that quiet moment, a dangerous thought appeared in her mind. What if I stopped just for a while? That night, Elena lay awake in her small apartment, staring at the ceiling. The city outside never slept, but inside her room, everything felt paused. Her phone was face down on the table. She kept glancing at it, as if it might start calling her name. She thought about her mornings, waking up and checking notifications before even opening her eyes, measuring her worth in likes, views, and short comments from people who didn't really know her. She remembered how she used to paint late at night, not for photos, not for approval, just because it made her feel alive. Now her brushes were dry, her canvas untouched. A tight feeling filled her chest, fear mixed with guilt. If I disappear, will anyone notice? If I stop posting, will I still exist? She reached for her phone again, unlocked it, and hovered her finger over the app icon. Delete. Her hand trembled. This wasn't just an app. It was her routine, her identity, her shield from loneliness. Elena closed her eyes and whispered to the empty room, "I'm so tired." For the first time, she admitted it, not online, not in a caption, but honestly, only to herself. Elena sat up in bed, the room lit only by the soft glow of a street lamp outside. Her phone felt heavier than usual in her hand, like it carried more than just glass and metal. She unlocked it again. The screen flooded with color, icons, endless promises of connection. Messages waited. Notifications stacked. Someone had commented. Someone had shared. For a moment, she almost smiled, almost stayed. But then she noticed how her shoulders were tense, how her breathing was shallow, how her heart wasn't calm. It was restless. She opened the app one last time, scrolled slowly. Faces, perfect moments, carefully edited lives. She whispered, "None of this feels real anymore." Her finger hovered over the settings. Account, Security. Delete. A warning appeared. Are you sure? This action cannot be undone. Her chest tightened. Fear surged. Fear of silence. Fear of being forgotten. Fear of being alone with her own thoughts. She placed the phone on the bed and stood up. Walked to the window. Watched cars move below like distant stars. I just need to breathe, she said softly. She turned back, picked up the phone. This time, her hand was steadier. She pressed confirm. The screen went blank. No applause. No dramatic music. Just quiet. Elena exhaled deeply, a breath she didn't realize she had been holding for years. The silence didn't feel empty. It felt unfamiliar. Elena sat back down, waiting for something to happen, a vibration, a sound, a sudden regret. Nothing came. Minutes passed. Then more. Her phone stayed dark on the nightstand, no longer demanding attention. No blinking lights. No endless scroll. At first, her thoughts raced. She reached for the phone out of habit, then stopped mid-motion. Her hand hovered in the air, confused, almost embarrassed. She laughed quietly. So this is what quiet feels like. She lay back and stared at the ceiling. For the first time in a long while, her mind wasn't jumping between opinions, images, or expectations. Memories surfaced instead, real ones. The smell of coffee in her grandmother's kitchen. Late evenings filled with honest conversations. Moments that were never posted, never liked, yet somehow mattered the most. Her breathing slowed. Her body softened. Outside, the city continued as always, unaware that something small, yet enormous, had just changed. Elena closed her eyes, not to escape, but to listen. When Elena woke up the next morning, the first thing she noticed was what didn't happen. She didn't reach for her phone. That alone felt strange, almost wrong. She sat on the edge of the bed, listening to the quiet hum of the city outside her window. Number notifications had greeted her. No reminders of who she was supposed to be today. A slow realization settled in. So much of her life had been lived through a screen measured in reactions, filtered moments, borrowed emotions. She had been performing happiness instead of living it. Elena walked to the mirror. Her face looked softer, without the pressure to smile. Tired, but real. And for the first time, she didn't want to fix it. A thought formed, clear and unsettling. If I don't post, who am I? The question didn't scare her. It intrigued her. She felt a quiet excitement, the kind that comes before something unknown, something honest. Elena picked up her phone, turned it over, and placed it face down. Not deleted. Not gone forever. Just not in control anymore. Later that day, Elena stepped outside without her phone in her hand. The air felt colder than usual, sharper, more real. People walked past her, heads down, eyes glowing from their screens. She noticed things she hadn't seen in years. The rhythm of footsteps, the sound of laughter, the way the light reflected in shop windows. For a brief moment, she felt invisible. And then she realized she liked it. At a crosswalk, she caught her reflection in the glass. No filter, no caption, no audience, just her. Her heart beat faster, not from fear, but from possibility. If no one was watching, she could become anyone. Elena took a deep breath and kept walking, unaware that this simple choice would soon cost her friendships, challenge her identity, and force her to face a version of herself she had been avoiding for years. As she disappeared into the crowd, one question lingered in the air. What happens when the world stops watching and you finally start living?